This CRC Brakleen 175 betting picks edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 325 times your entry with their Pick 8. Sign up today with our promo code RACESGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code RACESGPN. We are also brought to you by Rhythm. Build your own betting model using their AI betting engine. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you ask me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Neither rain nor snow nor 1,000-degree weather will keep us from talking racing things here on the NASCAR Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. Don't get thrown off. Again, I am coming to you from a remote location. Once again, I'm being pulled away by the Army. But, the show must go on, Cody. We cannot keep these folks that are waiting for us to be giving them truck picks to not give truck picks.
That's right. The show must go on. Rod, we got a Friday night-ish, I guess you could say, because it's like it's a 5:30 Central Time truck race on Friday evening. I don't think there's lights at Pocono, so I think that's why it's starting earlier, but also doesn't leave a ton of room to move things around if they need to. It's a little bit interesting there, but hey, Friday night trucks. I'll always take that. I do love it. So. Glad to be here. Glad to be talking some truck series. Cody Chalmers checking in. Great name, by the way.
Cody, what's up?
What's up, guys? First time catching you live. Blow Dro Bro from the Discord. What's up, Cody? Nice to see you. Glad you could catch a live show. We just had to come late night for you to catch us. JDK says, sup, fellas? Late night for Rod. Super late night for Cody. And Laura as well. Holy moly, you guys are up late. Hey, the show never ends. That's how it goes. Rod had some stuff to do earlier today, and we wanted to talk trucks together. So late nights, what you got to do. Late nights, what you got to do. Here we are.
I mean, like I said, the show never ends. And I tell you what, I was roasting in 111-degree weather out there, but I could not think of no better way to end the night with you guys, with Cody, and with JDK, and with Laura talking about the trucks for sure. We are, of course, talking truck race. It is the last betting picks edition of the week. And it's a CRC Brakleen 175 from Pocono. That tricky triangle, that nasty little triangle they got going on. Seems like the trucks have been off forever, Cody, and I'm just so happy they're back.
Yeah, I'm happy they're back too. We get 2 weeks of them. So that's nice. We'll have them this week. And then next week, while the other series are at Indianapolis, they'll be at Indianapolis Raceway Park, right across, sort of right across the street, across town, whatever it is. But in the relative area, doing some short track racing, which will be fun before they also go on the 2-week Olympics break. But yeah, it's been a few weeks since we've had a truck series race. So nice to have all three in action again this week. Last time we were out, Christian Eckes, wire-to-wire domination. Does he pull that off again this week, Rod? It's probably going to be a lot tougher. But who knows? We're going to be talking some Christian Eckes tonight for sure.
Yeah, definitely be talking some Christian Eckes. So get your bingo cards ready because I think there's going to be a lot of the old favorites on this one for sure. So yeah, if you play bingo or if you play the drinking game, which is probably more fun than bingo, let's face it, have all of your shots ready to go.
That's like adult bingo is the drinking game.
Mine's too far over there to grab, so I'll just have to wait until after the show is over. But yeah, I mean, we're going to enjoy talking some trucks with you guys tonight. But first, let me tell you first about Moon Off the Machine. Manji and Chris, they're getting you ready for the NFL season on the Propcast. I love the Propcast. I don't know if you ever listened to the show. Definitely love that show. I've been on it so many times, and it's one of my favorite shows on the network, not just to be on, but to listen to. They've got episodes already that are dedicated to season-long props and the awards market, so go check them out. Plus, check out CJ Sullivan, his road to $10 million on Bottom Line Bombs. Tune in wherever you get your podcast, or, of course, the SGPN app. Cody, like we said, it is, of course, the truck race. It's the first of the Friday at 2:30 for me. I have to tape it because I'm going to be at work. I'll tell you that right now. I have to get the old.
Yeah, that's that's a fucking afternoon race for you guys out there on the West Coast.
It is. Jeez. It is. Very rarely do we have like a 2:00 race, but yeah, I'm going to have to bust out the old Betamax and crank up that old tape machine and start taping that one so I can watch it when I get off from work. But yeah, it's going to be definitely different to know that it's already over by the time I'm off of work.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, that's so early over there. It's weird. A track that doesn't have lights, why put it on a Friday night? But hey, you know, who are we to question them, Rod? Boji Joe joining us as well this evening. Good evening, boys. Good evening, Boji Joe. This is Taylor Gray, Raja Caruth. We'll be talking about at least one of those guys.
Is that a matchup or is that
I think that those are just the guys that he's on.
Yeah, Boji Joe, we got you both about. Rod, you look orange, Trump or Biden supporter. How about I'm in a hotel room supporter? If you could only see the setup, my laptop right now is on a pillow. This is the highest tech that we can get in this era right now. So, yeah, not in the comforts of my own home, unfortunately, but
whatever it takes, right? If you got to balance on the pillow to get here, you got to balance on the pillow to get here. Here we are. Let's see. There's not really any news to cover, Rod, but there was one subject I wanted to touch on real fast.
Let's do that.
Toyota is looking at returning to F1. Now, why might that be important to NASCAR, Rod? They're looking at partnering with Haas over on the F1 side of things and potentially supplying them, which makes you then wonder, would they extend that partnership to the NASCAR side of things? Of course, we know that Haas is going to have the Haas Automation Factory team, whatever the hell they're going to call it, next year with one Cup Series team. They're going to have their same two-team Xfinity team. Right now, they're one of the only Ford teams in the Xfinity Series. It's basically them, Sieg, and the car Deegan was in AM Racing. So that's about the extent of your Fords. So it would be interesting to see if Haas switches. Now, we've seen people have different partnerships. Chip Ganassi with Chevy for a long time. Well, Dodge and Chevy in the Cup Series, but over in IndyCar was Honda. So it doesn't necessarily have to cross the lines like that. But it will be interesting to see, if they're flirting with Toyota partnership on the F1 side of things, does that also translate to the American side of things with the NASCAR series in both Cup and Xfinity? So I think that's kind of an interesting thing to keep an eye on.
Is this like the meme where Toyota's looking at F1 and then looking at NASCAR, and it's like, or NASCAR's looking at Toyota? Like, what are you looking at F1 for? Like, what's going on here?
Now we just need Honda to come over here, and then everything will be fine.
Bring back Dodge. I want Dodge. Bring them back.
A lot of people want Dodge, but Dodge seems to have zero interest from everything I've heard. So I think Honda's our best hope for getting another manufacturer, which I think the more manufacturers there is, the better for the sport it is. So hopefully Honda or someone will come in. Boji Joe wants to know where Tony Stewart is.
In hiding. He's in Gitmo with me.
Yeah. He's drag racing, man. That's his deal now. So his wife's pregnant, so they're starting their family. He's drag racing. He's given up on NASCAR, unfortunately.
All lock, stock, and barrel too. Like, he's gone. Like, okay, thanks, guys.
He already wasn't around. Guys like Kevin Harvick taking big digs at him for never being around. And he really ain't around now. And then he's literally sold out. And I don't know that we're going to hear much from Stewart anymore.
That's like when you know that your significant other has other interests and your interests are pretty much gone at that point. You're like, okay, I think we're good. We're out of the door now. I like what you like. That's new Coke for us.
There you go.
Gotta love it. All right. We are, of course, like we said, at the Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Virginia, set for 70 laps around this 2.500 mile paved triangle track. We talk about 3 gigantic drag race strips. So maybe Tony loves this track with 3 distinctly different corners on there for 175 miles around this track. Boji Joe wants to know, this is why you're in a hotel room. I'm just saying, this is what happens.
He doesn't get kicked to the couch. He gets kicked to the hotel.
Yeah. They're like, listen, honey, go ahead and stay somewhere else tonight. In which case I'm like, okay, well, SGPN gets credited for this one and we're going to stay the night in a hotel. So yeah, again, so like I said, 70 laps around this 2.5 mile paved track for 175 miles. Cody, the entry list, pretty much standard with a couple of different exceptions in this.
Yes, the entry list that I had pulled up just a minute ago, Rod, and there it is.
Did it get kicked to a hotel room too?
It also got kicked out. 36 entries for the truck series, so they will all make the race. Chris Wright is going to be in the number 1 truck. Connor Mosak is going to be in the 8 truck, which is for... Oh, no, he's in the 7.
He's in the 7 Spire truck. Yeah.
Bob wrote that wrong on his. That's what I get for reading off Bob's tweet. But he is in the A7 truck for Spire Motorsports. Sage Karam is going to be in the 21. That's for Floridian Motorsports. It's owned by Carl Long. I wanted to maybe look at something on Sage Karam, but if Carl Long owns a car, I wouldn't touch it in the betting market because they're generally not very good. Ross Chastain making his return to the truck series for Nice Motorsports. He'll be in the 45. Thad Moffitt is in the 46 still. That team that he was racing for is folded already, and this is now a Young's Motorsports truck. I don't think that's going to make a difference. We're not going to talk about him. There is a guy in the 66 named Luke Fenhaus. He's kind of like a late model guy. Interesting decision racing at Pocono for the late model guy. I think if we were talking next week at IRP on a short track, I'd be a little more interested in him. But yeah, kind of interesting to have him start at Pocono. So I don't know what the deal is there. And Zane Smith also returning to the truck series. He'll be in the 91 McAnally Hilgeman truck. Make sure you bookmark that name because we will be talking about him plenty tonight.
Zane Smith, who's that guy? Like I haven't heard of him in a long time.
He was running up front. Was that last week at Chicago? Yeah, he was like in the mix at Chicago for a while.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, this is Zane Smith we're talking about. Both of us, we have our own feelings about Zane Smith for sure, and we'll definitely be talking about him later on as well. So, Cody, I think all that's left is for us to start getting ready for the bets. But tell you about Underdog Fantasy. Pick 8 is now live. Create entries with up to 8 picks, and Underdog's going to automatically double flex those entries so you can miss up to 2 picks and still win that entry. With more picks to make and extra ways to win, the excitement is higher than ever. And the best part, you can win up to 325 times your original amount. Plus, you can now use specials and boost on all flexed entries. Cannot wait to make our Pick 8. Here's the thing. Right? No Underdog Fantasy on the DFS episode this week, but Cody and I are going to be putting out special videos for our Underdog Fantasy plays for this slate. So check out the YouTube channel, check out our socials for those as well. And don't miss your chance to try this out before it is gone. Sign up today with our promo code RACESGPN. You're going to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code RACESGPN. Circa Sports is back with Circa Survivor and Circa Millions, giving away $16 million in guaranteed prizes. Of course, Circa contests have no rake, which is awesome. Circa Millions, you can pick 5 NFL teams against the spread each week and compete for $6 million or survive the NFL gauntlet to claim the $10 million prize. Sign up in person at Circa Sports between now and September 7th, and you can use the proxy to play from anywhere in the world. We even have a deal with footballcontestproxy.com to save you $50 with promo code SGP. You don't have a trip booked for Las Vegas yet before football? It's all right. Ultimate Contest weekend. It's a great time to go out and hang out with Sean and Ryan and enjoy some of the open bar events at the greatest sportsbook in the world, August 22nd through August the 24th. All right, Cody, let us start to load up people's betting cards for this truck race. You and I have both been waiting for this for a while, so I think now's as good a time as any.
Let's get into it. And we were just talking about Zane Smith. He's the guy that I'm going to start with, Rod. You go over to Superbook. They've got him matched up against Ross Chastain. This makes no sense to me. Zane Smith is actually plus 105 in this head-to-head matchup. I really do not understand this at all. Zane Smith is in these McAnally Hilgeman trucks. We know how good they've been, right? We've seen it from Christian Eckes all season. We saw it from the 16 truck. Who's that, Rod?
Oh,
why can I not think of his name now? But God damn it. Anyways, we saw him.
Not anymore. There's no 16 truck.
There's no 16.
What
is it now? 18. Yeah.
Tyler
Ankrum. Oh, I remembered. Thank you. Appreciate your help there. We'll just go back and fix that later. But Tyler Ankrum was fast to start the season, and he's been fast here lately. Boji Joe mentioned it a little bit ago. Michael Waltrip's boy Dye's been doing good. Daniel Dye also in a McAnally Hilgeman truck. Those trucks have all been fast. We know how good of a truck driver Zane Smith is. I know the Cup Series has not quite been the experience he's wanted this season in his rookie season, but very, very good truck series driver. He's made a couple of starts this season. 8th place in Las Vegas. That's an okay finish, right? It's probably still good enough to beat Ross Chastain. 3rd at Bristol, 5th at Texas, 2nd at Kansas, Texas, Vegas. He's been racing on some of the bigger tracks, targeting these tracks specifically. Go back and you look at Ross. Only 3 starts this season. 5th at Coda, road course, whatever. He won Darlington, Rod, which we cashed a big bet on him that day. But that was a lot of late race chaos. All the big dogs got taken out. A bunch of the field got wiped out. Other than that, he was probably running 10th place all day. He wasn't really running up front or anything like that. So North Wilkesboro, 15th place. A lot more of what I'm kind of expecting from Chastain. I'm expecting around a 10th place run from Chastain. Maybe he could get up to 5th, which I think Zane Smith's going to be better than that anyways. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Shouldn't be plus money against Ross Chastain. So over on Superbook, Zane Smith over Ross Chastain, plus 105.
It's funny because any other week, I feel like I would be making a case for Ross Chastain. Any other day, I'd be talking better than I'm talking right now. You guys got to understand the day that I've had. Like, I was out in 111 degree weather. My brain is probably melted at this point. So anything I say, take it with a grain of salt. However, I will tell you this. Any other week, I feel like I'd be on Ross Chastain. But I tried to make a case for him several times over, and he screwed me over on this point. So I'm going to go with you on this, and I'm going to even go one step further and take Christian Eckes over Ross Chastain. This is not juicy plus money like yours is. This is at minus 115. But, Cody, you only pay the juice if you lose, and I can't see how Christian Eckes cannot beat this 45 truck.
How is this even a matchup?
I don't know.
This makes no sense. And how is it a matchup where Eckes isn't minus 140 or minus 150? Like, minus 115 is a fucking deal on this.
Like we said before, I know we get spoiled by plus money bets in NASCAR, but you got to think 115 minus 115 in any other sport is a great deal. So for Christian Eckes on this track altogether, he's had 2 bad runs. All right, we'll give him that. In 2020, he finished 33rd after he crashed out, but he did lead 10 laps in that race. He did start 4th in that race, and that was in the 18 truck, no less. That wasn't even in this 19 truck that he's been dominating in the last few weeks, right? So outside of that, he's had a 4th place finish in the 51 Kyle Busch truck, a 12th place finish in 2021, 8th place in 2022 in the 98, and then a 7th place finish in the 2023. What's more impressive about that run, though, he started 35th and wound up 7th in that race. So we know Christian Eckes is all about being around Pocono, but I don't got to tell you how good he's been this season, right? 3 wins, 7 top 5s, 12 top 10s, and 13 starts. He's only finished outside of the top 10 once. Cody just talked about Ross Chastain not being nearly as effective in that 45 as I would have wanted to be back in the day. But, you know, look, Christian Eckes just won in Nashville, 2nd at Gateway, 10th at Charlotte, 6th at North Wilkesboro, 4th at Darlington. So we're not even talking about just mundane top 10s. We're talking solid top 10s, top 5s, if not top 3s more often than not. Cody, how many weeks in a row have we talked about it's Heim, it's Eckes, it's Heim, it's Eckes? Every once in a while we'll throw in a Sanchez, and maybe this week we will too. But when we're talking about a guy that's consistently in the market for a win, Chastain has not put up the numbers to make me think that he's going to contend for a win. Christian Eckes is, barring any sort of chaos or craziness, Eckes has got this in hand. And at minus 115, you're barely paying anything for it and you're not going to lose. So let's just put it that way.
Yeah. This one, I mean, the only way I see this winning on the Chastain side of things is Eckes has some sort of problem and doesn't finish the race or ends up crashed or whatever the case is. I don't even understand how this is. I guess the Ross Chastain name, the Nice trucks have been okay. We've seen some good runs from some of these guys, but man, I don't see it. Ryan checking in. Thanks for joining us, Ryan. Corey Heim's going to dominate this week. We'll be talking about him later. JB checking in saying Ross Chain is awesome. Hey, there you go.
I mean, Ross Chain is great. Ross Chastain.
Boji Joe wants to know why Connor Mosak is behind Ankrum, Enfinger, and Taylor Gray in Group B. Well, Ankrum's been doing really well, and he's been running fast in those McAnally Hilgeman trucks lately. Enfinger, okay, it's questionable at times, right? Taylor Gray, I'll tell you more about that in a little bit, but I think that's probably about the right spot. Mosak isn't really that special, Rod, if we're going to be completely honest. Road course, yeah, he's a road course type of guy. You liked him there. I had a bet on him last week, last week at Chicago, but I'm not overly impressed with him being in that Spire truck this week. So,
yeah, I mean, again, it's not something you want to get super excited about. So, totally get that as well. All right, we will break down some of the last bets. Let's go commercial free, shall we, Cody? I want to do that by telling you about Rhythm. If you're betting on player props, then you need to download Rhythm. Rhythm is the go-to sports betting tool that transforms complex data into actionable insights, empowering bettors with smarter data-driven decisions. Unlike other platforms, Rhythm combines advanced predictive analytics with an intuitive user experience, making betting both easy and enjoyable. Rhythm's predictive models were born from those big, fat, juicy brains of MIT data scientists and quants with over 3 years of data that help drive you to better AI-backed betting decisions. Rhythm predictions have also been red hot in WNBA and golf. So go claim that 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right, Cody. Man, chat's blowing up. I love this guy. Boji Joe's all over this too.
He's got things. So we'll talk about that guy in a minute, but he's saying he is in the 7 truck. Yeah, he's in the 7 truck, but Boyer was in the 7 truck last time. It was out 17th. Andres Perez de Lara was in there the race before. He was 9th. Like, just don't look too hard at the truck. And now there's a case to be made on certain trucks, which you're going to make in a minute at certain numbers, but he shouldn't necessarily be a favorite. Once enough, McAnally's now the best truck team. I would say overall, probably. I mean, obviously Corey Heim is kind of in a class of his own, but the rest of the team, they're kind of hit and miss at times. But the McAnally trucks are all very fast every week. So, I probably would give them top billing if I had to declare a number 1 team, Rod. Speaking of the McAnally trucks, let's stick with Zane Smith. And I'm going to take his top 5. It's even money over on Bet365. I love this. He's made 4 starts this season in this truck, and 3 of them have been in the top 5. The other one was in 8th place at Las Vegas, and a majority of those have come. So, well, he is a Cup Series driver, obviously. So when he's racing, there's a lot of times other Cup Series guys in the fields, the William Byrons, the Kyle Bushes, all of those guys, they're not in this race. Ross Chastain's the only other one. Just talked about not being concerned about him. Just talked about Zane beating him. I think Zane Smith should be inside the top 5 at the end of the day. Look, it's going to be the Hyman Eckes show. I think that continues this week. Another guy that I'm very big on, we'll talk about here in a minute. But Zane Smith should be one of these top 5 guys. Even if it is Hyman Eckes, even if there's another guy or 2 in there, he should be one of the top 5 guys. He's a Cup Series guy coming down in what I just said was the fastest and best team in the garage. So if you're putting those 2 things together, it should equal that. Yeah, if you're putting Zane Smith and Ross Chastain up next to each other side by side, Ross Chastain's probably the better race car driver, right? But there's a big equipment difference here, and that's kind of the case we just laid out over in the head-to-head. Zane Smith should be in the top 5 at the end of the day. So give me Zane Smith at even money for a top 5.
So you're telling me that I need to cheer for Zane Smith, Cody?
Yeah.
I feel like that's not a very difficult proposition for me to get behind. Yeah, any day I can cheer for Zane Smith is a good day. So I like that. I swear to God, I just wish that they would give us stinking top 10s, because I mean, I know that his top 10 number would not be good, but like, I don't know. Like, I know Zane Smith top 5 would be great, but there's a couple of these top 5 bets that I was like, I really wish that I could get a top 10 instead. So yeah.
Boji Joe checking in, Zane Smith plus 300 against Chastain, Eckes, and Sanchez. The problem with that is Eckes, really, because I think Eckes is going to be better. I mean, I think it's going to be Eckes and Heim again for this. Like, that's what it's been most of the season. I think that continues. We're going to talk about that more later. And Sanchez even scares you a little bit, and I think Rod's going to make a point on him in a bit, but he's been good on these bigger intermediate tracks. He could show up too. So I don't know if plus 300 is enough. When you get him plus 105 against just Ross, I like that way better than the plus 300. You can just do double these you were going to do on this one, because I think it's a lot safer. Eckes and Sanchez both scare me quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, so my next bet, I kind of took in a direction that I didn't think I was going to take, and that is Ben Rhodes. He is in Group C over on Bet365 against Tyler Ankrum, Daniel Dye, and Stuart Friesen. I'm going to take Ben Rhodes. He's at plus 250 to win this group. Tyler Ankrum's at plus 250 as well. Daniel Dye at plus 260. Stuart Friesen at plus 290. I almost feel like I can just tell you already that I don't have to necessarily explain to you why I'm outing Stuart Friesen. One too many times has Stuart Friesen just absolutely annihilated me in any sort of bet. So I'm done. Like, Stuart Friesen, I love you to death. I'll have some Molson with you when we go up to Canada together, but not necessarily going to enjoy, 2 plus 290 in this group. I don't think so. Friesen gone, Boji Joe says. But Stuart Friesen on this track, 19.3 place average finish. He's got a 12th place. He did have a 4th place in 2018. Great. But 32nd, 8th, the last 3, 33rd, 14th, 32nd. Nothing necessarily to write home about in Pocono. As for Ben Rhodes, why I'm picking him, his average finish is 10.4 on this track. And 11th place, the first time he was out here. 2nd place, 11th, 9th, 5th, 17th, and 19th. Okay, those were a couple of bad runs for him, but he did rebound last season for a 9th place finish after starting 22nd. So a good day for him there. The only one that scares me a little bit in this one is Tyler Ankrum, in that I have high hopes for Tyler Ankrum, but I also think that Ben Rhodes can still finish better than Tyler Ankrum, and for Tyler Ankrum to still have the kind of day that I think Tyler Ankrum is going to have. And a lot of what I'm basing this off of is sort of just what he's done lately, and it's been very inconsistent at best, right? 34th in Texas, 20th at Kansas, 26th at Darlington, an 8th at North Wilkesboro, cool, but 32nd at Charlotte, 15th at Gateway, 5th place at Nashville, cool. But Pocono, it's been middling for him. And of course, he has not in the 18 truck like he is in now, but 2nd, 9th, 4th, cool, but 16th and 12th over the last couple of races. But again, for Ben Rhodes, we talk about him? We'll talk about him some more too. He's a championship driver. He should be a championship driver, right? And so this should be a track where he does well on. The number's not where I exactly want it to be, but I still think it's good value here, especially given we don't have a hell of a lot to go on right now, Cody. But I'll take plus 250 to win Group C.
Yes, I definitely foresee us talking about him in the future on the DFS episode, Rod. But Ankrum and Dye definitely both scare me. We just got done talking about how fast the McAnally trucks are. But you know how much I love Ben Rhodes. You know how much he can sneak up and have good races. He's a Joey Logano type, or he's hard to predict, but plus 250, I think the number is correct there. Charles checking in, late night, guys. What's up? Let's go, Charles. He wants to talk about Taylor Gray with the money bag. Let's talk about Taylor Gray with the money bag. Rod, money bag is going to start, and we're not done talking about it. We'll talk about it some more later, but it's going to start with the top 5, 3-1 on Taylor Gray. Absolutely fucking love this. 1 start at Pocono, Rod. 3rd place finish for Taylor Gray. That is a great day. You'll love to see that. The 2 drivers who finished in front of him, Kyle Busch, Corey Heim. That's a pretty good, solid couple of guys to finish behind in your first start here. You go back and you look at the bigger tracks, this season. 12th at Charlotte, kind of not a great through best run there, but 8th place at Darlington, 7th place at Texas, 4th place at Las Vegas. All good runs by him there. He's actually been top 8 in 7 of the 13 truck races this season. So consistently running better. We've talked about that a lot with him. Talked about him yesterday on the Xfinity Series show as well. I think that he's going to have a good run in a good day over there. I think that he's also going to have a good run in the Truck Series here. And 3-1 just kind of seems like a crime. Again, we don't have a big loaded field, right? Zane Smith is in this race. And really, that's the only guy I'm worried about. I'm not super worried about Ross Chastain. I just don't think Chastain is going to be up there as much. So it's Eckes and Heim, because you know that those guys are going to be up there. Then you've got these 3 other open spots. I think Zane could take one of them. I definitely think Taylor Gray could do it. He did it last season, 3rd place at this track. We've seen that using previous Poconos kind of been the best indicator of things. So it's only one race sample size, but 1 for 1 in the top 3. I like it. And all he has to do here is finish in the top 5. It's 3-1. Give me some Taylor Gray. And then Rod turning over to his teammate, Dean Thompson, top 5 at 11-1. We're also going to talk about Dean Thompson on tomorrow's DFS show, which will probably be out in the morning for you because we might have already recorded it. But Dean Thompson is the type of guy that it could go either way, Rod, right? He could finish in 5th place or he could finish in 33rd place, and you're not going to be surprised by either one. So, and Boji Joe says, I feel Dean Thompson has a chance. Well, I do too. So glad we thought of that at the same time. But Dean Thompson has that upside of some good runs. 9th place at Charlotte, 8th place at Kansas. He finished 8th place here last season. So a good run at this track again, much like Taylor Gray. You like to see that. He was 3rd at Charlotte last year, at a 9th place run at Darlington last season. But there were so many races last year where he had a fast truck, he was running well, and then late in the race, Dean Thompson in the wall. Oh, he steps over the limit. He's still trying to find that limit, I think, but shown flashes. He's shown the ability. Sound like Raja Karuth, maybe. And we were talking about him at Las Vegas earlier this season. 80-1 to win. He goes out, gets it done, right? I don't know that Dean Thompson's at winning level, but I think he's can get you a top finish. So, I like that for Dean Thompson, top 5 at 11-1.
Yeah, again, we talked about, we'll talk about this, I'm sure, coming up soon. But Dean Thompson, one of those cars or one of those trucks rather, where you're definitely cheering for him. And if he does well, he does well. And if he doesn't, it's kind of no surprise at that point. Cody, this is the market where I really wish that we had the top 10s in, because I would totally smash a Chris Wright top 10 at plus 600, because you got to figure it's about half of the cost what you want it at, right? But instead, you got a Chris Wright top 5 at plus 1,200. So a 12-1 for Chris Wright as a top 5 truck. This is a pipe dream at best, but not really, because like we said earlier, it is in the one truck, right? That one truck is definitely a strong truck, and it has been strong over the course of the season. We have seen the likes of Christopher Bell finish in 5th. We've seen the likes of Jack Hawksworth finish in 6th. Brett Moffitt finished in 6th. Colby Howard in 7th. Brendan Butterbean Queen finishing in 4th, right? So, I mean, this can be done, and we can get it done. Chris Wright, unfortunately, did start in Texas in this one truck, crashed out after only 145 of 167 laps, so he didn't get the full race in. But look, that one truck we know can park itself in the top 5. Can Chris Wright get there? He's a local guy, right? He's racing in Pennsylvania. This is his home. He definitely has a little bit of an advantage there, where he knows the area. But I mean, look, it's a long shot for a reason, but the storylines are there. The opportunity for the truck to get there is there. And Chris Wright, not necessarily the driver that's going to win this race, but something happens. He keeps the truck in good condition. He could find himself somewhere near the top 7 or 8, like the rest of the drivers that have driven this truck before. Granted, I know that there's been a few bad finishes out there for some of these other one drivers, but when you put a decent driver behind it, then I think you're in a good spot. Like I said, local boy. I figured I just needed to throw the one truck out there because it just deserves to have I just wish it was a top 10 number. A top 10 at 6-1 would be a much better opportunity than top 5 at 12-1.
Yeah, top 10s would be so great. But I don't know if we'll ever get them, Rod. It continues to be a dream, but hopefully someday. I know I just said a few minutes ago, don't look too much into the truck always, but you're getting a number like 12-1. That makes a big difference, right? And, a shorter number on Mossack, don't like that as much. The 12-1 for this car, I do like. So, Rod, how's your computer battery life? Do you want to give out the rest of your picks, or do you think you're going to make it?
Listen, you guys, this is the cost of doing business all over the place. Packed everything I needed to pack this morning as I was leaving the house. I come here, I plug in, and all of a sudden, ba-doom, battery light comes on, and I'm like, oh, for the love of God, there is no power cord. So I
think what we should do is you give out the rest of your picks. That way, if you do get cut off, then everybody's got your picks and your explanation. And if you make it through your picks, you can sit while I go through the rest of my picks. If you end up dropping out, I can close the show out.
Well, listen, I'm at 16%, so I feel like we can get through most of them.
Okay.
So
all right,
let's.
I'll try and talk fast, Rod.
Yeah, let's wrap this in about 10 to 15 minutes. Can we do that?
We can do that. So
Sweet.
Don't need much explanation on this one. Lawless Allen top 4 to 100-1. That's my next play. And then moving on. No, I'm just kidding. I will give you some explanation with the Lawless Allen thing. Here's how I'm looking at this. And again, you're taking the manufacturer and you're breaking it down. By the way, this is over on Caesars, and it is in the you got to go to the speakeasy for it. So top Ford. So again, you're targeting not a big group of drivers here because there's only so many Fords in this race, and you're looking at it. Ty Majeski's at the top of the board at plus 100. Absolutely zero interest in Ty Majeski this week. We know why, right? It's been documented all season. Ben Rhodes is next. I know you made a case for him, but he can be hit and miss. Then it's Lane Riggs. Talk about hit or miss, especially on a bigger track. He's more missed than he is hit. Next week at IRP, I hope Lane Riggs has a bad week this week, Rod, because next week at IRP, I want to get in on him if he does have a bad week. Luke Fenhouse is next. Well, I just talked about him. He's in that 66 truck, which hasn't been the greatest, and he's a short track guy, so I just don't see it. Jake Garcia, we've not seen it from him all season. Can Crafton pop up? Yeah. Sage Karam, I just told you that's a car long truck. Don't touch it. Lawless Allen's down here next at 100-1. I just made a case for all of the people in front of him to not have the best of days. Are you going to need some help here? Yeah, because Ty Majeski should obviously finish better than Lawless Allen. Ben Rhodes should obviously finish better than Lawless Allen. I don't think there's anyone else on this list that should obviously finish better than Lawless Allen. Yeah, maybe they should, but I don't think that it's so obvious. If you go back and you look at Lawless, he's shown a couple of opportunities where he's had just good days. 11th place finish at Texas. That's not a bad day. It wasn't the top Ford on the day, but 11th place can be the top Ford in certain situations. He was 12th at Darlington as well. The top Ford at Kansas, Rod, 10th place was Matt Crafton. 16th place was his top Ford. So an 11th place at Texas would have been one spot outside of that. At Las Vegas, 7th and 10th were the best two finishing ones. And Lawless was 11th place in that race. So not that far out of it. There's multiple other races we've had this season where the top Ford is 7th or 9th or 11th. It doesn't have to be a top 5 finish for Lawless Allen to do this. 100-1 is just ridiculous. We get one wreck in one of these crazy turns, and Majeski, Rhodes, and Crafton are in it. I'm not worried about any of these other guys that are in front of him. Lawless Allen just has to survive. Is he probably going to need some chaos? Well, it's a fucking 100-1, Rod. You're probably going to need a little bit of chaos. But 100-1, it is worth a shot. Lawless Allen. And then top Chevrolet, I'm going to go to that market as well. Just take the favorite. Christian Eck is plus 325. He's fucking good, Rod. And you got Ross Chastain, not worried about him. Sanchez concerns me a little, yes. Zane Smith concerns me. Roger Caruth concerns me. But Christian Eckes is better than all these guys. Plus 325 just to be the top finishing Chevy is a great deal on Christian Eckes. This allows Corey Heim to win this race. This allows Taylor Gray to win this race. Corey and then Christian Eckes to be just the best finishing of the Chevrolet group, which I do like. 7 top 4 finishes this season in the 13 races we've had for the Truck Series. Led every single lap the last time we were out at Nashville. 6th at Vegas, 4th at Texas, 3rd at Kansas. He's had some good runs. That rocket ship of a truck he had last year at Kansas when I was at that race. I'll never forget how fast. I've never seen a truck that fast, Rod. But 7th and 8th the last 2 seasons here at Pocono. So not the best of finishes, but compared to how he's been doing this season, compared to how he was doing those seasons, this has been a much better season for him. I think he'll continue to improve on that. So just take the top guys when Christian Eckes plus 325.
Yeah, I can't argue with you at Eckes at all. And Lawless, fun to cheer for. I mean, 101s, that's what you're doing. You're throwing it on there so you can have something else to cheer for if you don't have enough already to cheer for all race long. All right, I know you poo-pooed Ty Majeski, but I'm about to make a case for him as a top 5 truck. This is the time in which you can go ahead and feel a little more confident as Cody decides to just go ahead and puke, and that's fine. You can do that, and I'll accept that fully. But Ty Majeski, he's the guy you love to not love, right? But I will say that the last 2 races for him here in both the 66 and the 98 truck have been close to top 5 finishes, right? And he was in 7th place in 2022 in that race in Pocono, but you also have to consider who else was in that race in 2022, right? You had Ryan Preece in that, you had John Hunter Nemechek in that, you had Carson Hocevar in that one, you had Austin Hill in that one. Those 2 drivers no longer a part of this series at all. And then last year he finished in 6th place. That one also had a couple of drivers no longer there. One for sure, Kyle Busch. The second one was Christopher Bell. So you take 2 of those guys out, that's a 4th place finish for Ty Majeski. Has this season been great for Ty Majeski? Hell no. His average finish is 12.4, but I will say he got a 4th place at Gateway a couple of weeks ago, which is back on a little bit of a decent streak. Nashville, he finished 9th. He has a 5th place at Darlington. He had a 2nd place in Martinsville, a 3rd place in Texas, 2nd place in Atlanta. Ben Rhodes will figure this out. He'll figure it out somehow, some way. This happens to be the track that he does.
You mean Ty Majeski?
I mean, Ty Majeski. Shit, Ben Rhodes.
What was I reading? Can we get a battery percentage update, Rod?
Oh, you want to know so I can hurry up and cut out?
No, I've got something.
I'm at 13%.
13%. That's 13% more than my interest in Ty Majeski. I don't know. I can't get on the Majeski train anymore. He's burned me too many times.
And that's fine.
And I'm going to stay on. But I can see the case for it, but just not where I'm going to spend my money. Somewhere I am going to spend my money, Rod. Winning truck number 10-19 plus 105. Look, Corey Heim is plus 250 to win this race. You can get 10-19 at plus 105. Not that much cheaper. Here's the guys that you get in the 10-19 range. I can't believe they're still giving us this. I can't believe that they are still giving us this at this price. In the 10-19 range, you get Corey Heim, the favorite to win the race at plus 250. He's included in this group at 105. Can he win this race? Fucking obviously, right? Jake Garcia, can he win this race? Probably not, but he's in a Thor Sport truck, so whatever. Tanner Gray, could he win this race? I think he could win this race. It might take some help. Taylor Gray, could he win this race? I'm about to tell you in a minute that he could win this race. Tyler Ankrum, could he win this race? Abso-fucking-lutely Tyler Ankrum could win this race. Christian Eckes, could he win this race? Abso-fucking-lutely he could win this race. Again, if you just gave me Corey Heim and Christian Eckes, I would probably still take this bet. But then you're tossing in Ankrum, both the Grays. Yes, please sign me up. Plus 105 should not be this number. I mean, man, the only Zane Smith is the other guy that I'm worried about maybe getting, and we're going to cover ourselves there in a minute. But who else is going to win this race, Rod? I just, maybe on an outside, Sanchez, maybe a Carruth, but I still think that it's the Heim and Eckes show. This is a way to get in on both of them, so you don't have to pick one. It's plus 105. You get coverage on these other guys that are all capable of winning this race. Winning truck number 10-19 plus 105 over on Caesars.
I'll see your 10-19, and I'll raise you a winning truck number under 18.5, which, by the way, Cody, is also at plus money, pretty much even money. It's at plus 100, but 18.5, under 18.5, you just read off everybody between 10 and 19, and I know, but that could happen. You got Connor Mosak, you got Nick Sanchez, and I mean, those 3 other guys that just in case they decide they end up winning. And if Chris Wright can pilot that one truck into a win, then so much the better. But under 18.5, you get all of those guys with the additive plus of the other 3 or 4 guys on top of that. I mean, honestly, Cody, it is the 10-19 range that I was targeting in that area anyways. But if you're still getting even money at the under 18.5, you might as well double down. So,
yeah, I mean, you're taking out Eckes from the equation, right? But if you're okay with that, then you're adding in guys like Sanchez and Chris Wright and Mosack and Enfinger. Even Enfinger could win this race. Dean Thompson, you'd be covered on Dean Thompson win, Rod. So, I definitely don't mind it. And Emoji Joe doesn't either, as he says, way better bet, Rod. So there you go.
Beautiful. All right. Well, then let us get to some winners of this race, Cody.
Let's get to the winners, Rod. Time. Corey Heim plus 250. I mean, I really don't think I need to explain this one too much, but finished second place here last season to Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch not in this race. He finished fourth place in this race in 2022. The drivers who finished ahead of him, Chandler Smith, Xfinity driver, not in this race. Ryan Preece, Cup driver, not in this race. John Hunter Nemechek, Cup driver, not in this race. So if you take out the drivers who are all Cup drivers, not in this race that finished ahead of him the last 2 years, Corey Heim has won both races. So there you go. 9 podium finishes. That's a top 3. 9 top 3s in 13 races from Corey Heim this year. Led 72 laps at Charlotte before he got wrecked. Led 74 and won at Texas. 3rd at Vegas. Won 3 of the last 6 races, including Kansas. Sign me up for all of the Corey Heim at plus 250. Zane Smith at 8-1, I think, is also a good bet. I talked about Zane earlier. This could be a Zane type of day. Again, with having Eckes as the top Chevy, I feel like you're covered there in case Eckes wins. Getting the winning truck number range, I think you're covered there. And you get Zane Smith at 8-1. You're covering yourself in a lot of different ways while still being able to come out on the, without just breaking even, obviously, because you want to do better than that. So give me Heim, give me Zane Smith, and Taylor Gray, 20-1 for 3rd place in his one career start. What if something happens to Corey Heim in this race, and now you don't have Kyle Busch or Corey Heim in front of him? It's Taylor Gray time. Talked about him a lot on the Xfinity Series show yesterday. Going to talk about him more on the DFS show tomorrow. Love Taylor Gray this week, 20-1. Definitely worth the shot. And then Rod, hashtag DGens only parlay. Taylor Gray to sweep both races, trucks and Xfinity. It's plus 75,500. Means if you put $10 on it, it'll pay you $7,560. You're welcome. That's going to turn us all into shifties when we win $7,560 off a $10 bet this weekend. Give me some Taylor Gray to win both races.
Oh my God, that's strictly D-Gens only right there. If you want, man, Taylor Gray, if he wins both of these races,
that's a bet for my guy Ricardo there, because I know he loves the big parlays.
Yeah. Oh no, he loves, man. If you go to the Discord, because those parlays are 1,000% like.
Yeah. When he hit one, which makes, because I mean, how many of those you have to build before hitting one doesn't make a difference? Like, oh, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. You'll love to see it. All right. Well, then we talk about Christian Eckes and Corey Heim being their shows, and it's always their shows. But I'm going to toss another guy in there, and I'm going to toss in Nick Sanchez, because you already gave out the good ones that I really think have a decent shot of winning. But I'm gonna throw Eckes in there. I love, Cody, that you gave me the plus 750 Caesars boost, because I don't remember what I had him as, but it wasn't 750.
You had him at 6-1, which is where he is for most places.
Yeah. But I like that plus 750 the most. Why? Because Nick Sanchez, the last time he was out on this racetrack, started on the pole, led 7 laps, but unfortunately ended up finishing in 19th. Did not get the finish that he deserved, in my opinion, in that one. And so definitely that was one where like just about everybody crashed. I mean, he crashed on 47, and then we had like this gigantic pileup on lap 53. So definitely not the best season for him. Average finish this year, 7.5. He's won 2 races, 7 top 5 finishes, 9 top 10s and 13s. First place at Charlotte, a 3rd place at Gateway, 13th at Nashville. Okay. But 2nd at Darlington, 7th at North Wilkesboro, 3rd at Texas, 4th at Martinsville. When it hasn't been Eckes, when it hasn't been Heim, Sanchez has been inserting himself in the conversation. I do believe that this is another opportunity for him to do so. I think it is, again, like you said, the Eckes and Heim show one more time. But if something happens, Nick Sanchez is usually there. And I think Nick Sanchez has a good opportunity to cash in if all things remain equal that way. So plus 750, love that number.
I have no argument against Sanchez. I mentioned him a couple of times as a guy that kind of scares me, especially on an intermediate. So I didn't have any bets on him specifically, but I'm glad that you worked him in there. Charles says that's the type of shit that makes you a lifelong fan. You hit a parlay like that, and you will be a fan forever for sure. Rod, do you have time quickly for fantasy picks?
I do. I'm at 10% right now, and I think I can.
Well,
9%. So let's get this going.
Okay, let's get it going. Quick update: Nashville last week. Of course, we're doing the battle with the NASCAR Betting Preview Show Truck Series episode or edition. Our guys Derek and Phil over there. Make sure you check out their show after you're done listening to this one. Rod Nashville was another ass with 394 points for us, 237 for them. Extends our lead to a lot. This might be like old school NASCAR where we lock up the championship early. I don't want to get too cocky, but we now have a almost 300-point lead over these fellas. So,
oh my God.
But like we've proved multiple times, it doesn't take much to kick somebody's ass in one race. So, okay, here we go. We've got we need an A driver. Do we want to go with Corey Heim? We still have 6 starts left.
How many races are left?
See, I need to check. Does this reset? I think we'll have to check the rules, but okay. I can't remember if this resets after the regular season or if it's for the whole season.
Okay.
But,
well, that's fine.
Let's just do Heim. We got 6 starts left, and you only get 9, so we've only played him 3 times. So I think we just stick with him. Yep. Over in B, we need 2 of these drivers. You've got Brett Holmes, Daniel Dye. I think we could consider him. Dean Thompson. I think we could consider him. Enfinger, I think we should save. Lawless Allen can consider. Lane Riggs, Stuart Friesen. Both Gray brothers. We do only have 4 starts left for Taylor, but this would be a good spot.
So wait, how many starts do we have for Ben Rhodes?
He's not in this group. Or you even listen to what I said?
I thought you said Ben Rhodes.
I didn't know. Tyler Ankrum also in this, but okay, so I think we're between Ankrum, either Gray, Lawless Allen, Dean Thompson, Daniel Dye.
I would like to do Tyler Ankrum. I feel like I
like Tyler Ankrum. And I say we just keep rolling with Taylor Gray. Let's keep building this lead up. He's going to be good this weekend, so let's play him. Then we need 1 C driver, and we don't have many options. Again, this group just sucks. It's Bailey Curry, Brian Duzant, Justin Carroll, Raja Caruth, Spencer Boyd, Thad Moffitt. We only have 4 starts left with Raja because he's one of the only guys we use a lot here. But I think on a bigger track, we just keep playing Raja.
Yep.
Okay. Boom. So Heim, Ankrum, Taylor Gray, Raja Caruth. That is our lineup. Hopefully we will kick the what an error for what? Oh, here we go.
Error because we're beating them too badly. They're like, no, that's not.
They just
fair.
mercy ruled him, Rod.
Stop. You guys just don't. Quit hitting him. He's dead.
So make sure you listen to the NASCAR Betting Preview Show. They'll give out their picks as well, and maybe they could mount a crazy comeback. Was it? I think it was last year in the Good Race poll where Bianchi had like a huge lead, and then Gluck started just tearing him down at the end of the season. Didn't quite catch him. So maybe we'll have some drama like that.
Gotta love it. All right, well, get out your pen and paper. We're gonna go over real quickly, because I'm at 8% now. The picks for this CRC.
This is like the countdown clock for that we had in the race last week. We need the percentage clock on the screen. It's like Rod's battery 8, 7, 6.
Oh man, hey, the bosses wanted us to try something new. This is a shot clock, so we're trying something new. It's our shot clock. Cody started you out with Zane Smith over Ross Chastain at plus 105. I gave you Christian Eckes over Ross Chastain as well at minus 115. Cody said Zane Smith would be a top 5 truck at even money plus 100. I said that Cody Rhodes, 55 minutes in, and we got the first WWE. Ben Rhodes, I swear to God, I watch too much WWE. Ben Rhodes to win Group C at plus 250 over Ankrum Dye and Stewie Friesen. Cody gave you Tay Gray as a top 5 truck at plus 300. Dean Thompson as well as a top 5 at 11-1. I said Chris Wright in that one truck would be a top 5 truck at plus 1200. Cody said that Lawless would be a 100-1 shot at top Ford. Eckes at plus 325 is a top Chevy, which I love that bet. Majeski top 5 truck at plus 220. Cody does not love that bet. Cody also gave you the winning truck number between 10 and 19 at plus 105. I gave you the winning truck number at under 18.5 at plus 100. Cody added Heim at 2.5-1, Zane at 8-1, Tay at 20-1, and then of course pulling off the Tay double, which will make us all Tay fans at plus 500. $10 will win you 7,500. And I gave you Nick Sanchez at plus 750 and the Caesars boost. Cody, Boji wants to know what happened to the screenshot. There's many reasons why the screenshot is RIP'd. One, it takes a while to set that thing up. You may not think so, but it does. Yeah. And then two, sometimes we don't have the bets in until 10 minutes before, and it's
a lot of times we're switching stuff around during the show. Sometimes we'll put something in, take something out. Sometimes the odds change. We'll find something different. So, yeah, blah blah blah. I know,
Boji. Hey, do you want to do it? We're gonna fish it out to you, Myron. I know, baby. Finish my story.
Finish your story, Rod. Finish your story. He was cheering you on. Yes, Rod has made it to the end, so we'll get out. I just got the Apple Podcast notification as well that the NASCAR Betting Preview Show truck episode is up. So make sure you go check out those guys over there. They always do a great job, and all their shows on their network are great as well. So check it out, Rod. In the meantime, if you could subscribe to us over on the YouTube, we greatly appreciate it. Helps us out a ton. So if you haven't done that, go over there. You're 56 minutes into the Truck Series episode. Just go subscribe to the YouTube. You at least somewhat like the show, right? You stuck with us this long. Help us out. We appreciate it. And then follow me on the X, Rod, at Husker_Zeeb. I got a lot of stuff going on, so check it all out.
Yes, sir. Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez as I fight off the bloodline to try to finish my story. You find everything I got going on there. I will just save you all of that because I've only got a few precious percentages left to get there. I will definitely try to stay cool, Laura. Thank you. And then someone give Rod a let it ride home. Here we go. We'll be back again tomorrow with the DFS episode. So thanks for hanging with us, everybody. Thanks for sticking with me through the failing percentages of my laptop. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. And until then, everyone, let's go racing and let it ride.